All right, folks, we've got another question to answer. What are the best console design? So console design, you know, you might not think about it that often, but it is definitely a very important part of a video game system's identity. Like when you think of some of these consoles, you immediately think of how the freaking machine looks. You know, it's a very important part. You do not want to half-ass your console design. So today we're going to be looking through all of my systems that I own. Not all of them. We're only going to be going up to the Wii. That'll be the cutoff. I don't know. I just feel like console designs afterwards just weren't really that interesting personally. But we're going to be looking at so from the NES to the Wii. So here we have the NES. This is not an NES, but I mean it is, but it's not. So what do I have here? So I don't actually own a North American NES. I only own the Famicom AV. Bear with me. So let's just take a look at the NES. I'll have a picture of it up here. The NES is a very iconic looking video game system with the flap that you have to open to put the cartridge in. A very, very odd design, but it looks quite nice. I do like how the NES looks. I do not own it, unfortunately. I wanted to get the Famicom AV because, you know, it's in the name. It has AV out. So does the original NES, but I don't know. Basically, the Famicom AV is actually very similar to the NES top loader. So the NES top loader also hits stateside. It looks very similar, but this is a slightly different looking system. It's more like curved, I think. I'll show a picture of it right here. It basically looks like the Famicom AV, so there you go. And then the original Famicom, not very good console design. I mean, it looks cool, but the controllers are connected to the console. You cannot remove the controllers. I'm glad that we could do that in North America. And clearly Nintendo agreed that was a bad decision because we have controller ports on the Famicom AVs, so yeah. So at some point I'll get an original Famicom and a North American NES at some point, but I don't have them. But yeah, Famicom AV, cool looking console, NES cool. Moving on. So taking a little breather from Nintendo because, you know, most of these consoles in this video I'm pretty sure are Nintendo systems. Yeah, I'm looking at all of them over there. That is overwhelmingly Nintendo. So the Sega Genesis Model 1. This might be my favorite console design ever. This thing is just beautiful. I love how it looks. You got that big circle right there and it says 16 bits, just in case you needed to know. It is a 16-bit system. The Mega Drive has an even bigger 16-bit text on that one as well. I'll show that right here. I mean, look at it. I mean, it's so proud of it being 16-bit. It just has to tell you. We got the volume slider for the headphone jack. That's the only way to get stereo out of this bad boy. So definitely take advantage of that. You can get stereo out of it. There's like a way you can plug it into the TV. I have a little special cable for that. It's just such a cool look. I love that. I don't know of any other console that has a headphone jack. It's super cool. It's just this grill part right here. It's just, oh my God, it's such a good design. It's so good. And then at some point, Sega redesigned the Genesis Model 2. It's good. I like how this one looks. I don't like it as much as the Model 1 because the Model 1 has much better audio quality. This one really doesn't have great audio quality. It's just not the best. Yeah, I still like how it looks, but I don't like it as much as the Model 1. Now here we have the Super Nintendo and the Super Famicom. This is Nintendo's next system after the NES. Let's start with the Super Famicom because it came out before the Super Nintendo in Japan. Yeah, the Super Famicom is a great looking system. I love how this thing looks. Very, very sleek. It's very modern looking, and I think that's really appropriate for a new system. It's just so sleek. You got the eject button there. It's that big button. It looks super nice. And then for North America only, because Europe actually got the Super Famicom design. It's called the Super Nintendo over there. The Super Nintendo got a redesign, and this is a kind of controversial redesign, but personally, I actually really like the Super Nintendo design. I will say I do like the Super Famicom design more, but this one's really nice too. It looks cool. I like the blockiness to it. I think that looks nice. And I like the purple button. Some people are like, oh, that looks like Fisher Price. What are you talking about? That looks super nice. It looks super sleek and classy. I really like that. I actually like the eject button on this one more. Actually, it's very cool. Very cool eject button. Yeah, Super Nintendo is a great console design along with the Super Famicom. I will say I like the Super Famicom more and how it looks, but you know, I think people go a little too hard on the Super Nintendo. Now we are moving on to the 5th generation of consoles. This is a PS1. I do not have the original PlayStation 1 model, but that one looks really cool. I really like how that one looks. The buttons look super big on that. I like it's like a nice rectangle, that big circle for the CD tray. Super cool design. I really like how that one looks. But this is the one I have here. This is the PSONE, PS1. And this one, you know, I mean, I like it. I mean, it's just kind of whatever. I think the original PS1 design did look cooler, but this one's a lot smaller than that one. So for that, you know, it has some merit. And if you could get your hands on it, I don't know how rare this is. I don't know how many people got it, but there's a monitor for the PlayStation 1 officially licensed. And yeah, it only works on this model. I've had some issues with it, like the speakers kind of crap out. The screen looks pretty good, but yeah, that's pretty cool that they did that, so, you know, shout out. Now, here we have the Sega Saturn. Just ignore that cartridge, that's my Saru cart, so I can play legal copies of games. But yeah, so the Sega Saturn, this is the Japanese model, because I actually wanted to get the North American Saturn, but it's they're kind of expensive when I could just import one from Japan for like $50 less. And I kind of like the gray color more. It also had a white variant in Japan as well. Yeah. In North America, it was just black, just like the Genesis. I like how all of them look. I really like how all the Saturns look. There's also like a clear one, but just looking at the base console design, it's a little, you know, it's good. I do like it. It's a little generic. I mean, it's just a box, but I think it makes up for it. I love the curved top right here. That's super cool. Just the cool power buttons. They're like nice ovals. They made them like circles later down the line, which I might prefer that, but I don't know. Yeah, very cool looking system. I love the disc tray. It's kind of big. Yeah, so Sega Saturn, very cool. Now the Nintendo 64, I really like how this one looks. This might be the best looking 5th generation console. It looks pretty big, but it's actually not that big. It might have been the smallest out of the 5th gen. I'm not sure because I don't own the original PS1 model, but yeah, I really like how this looks. It looks super like futuristic. Like these it's like this like base right here, like the feet. I guess that's how you could describe it. I don't know. The cool N64 logo right there. It's so futuristic looking. The cartridge slot. Very nice looking system. It's probably the most unique looking one of the 5th generation. Nintendo, you did the best out of the 5th gen consoles in terms of console design. Well, we're getting to the good stuff. Back to another one of my favorite console designs along with the Genesis Model 1. Oh, the Dreamcast is such a cool design. you know, I said N64 is futuristic, but this is also a very futuristic looking console. It's pretty small too for, you know, how much of a powerhouse it was in, you know, 1998 when this came out in Japan, and, you know, 99 in North America and everywhere else and stuff. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. I love how this thing looks. When that little part there is lit up, that looks so sick. These like, I don't know, these like dots on the thing. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of weird. And the Dreamcast logo is just awesome. I love the Dreamcast logo. It's so like weird, but it works really, really well. It's just, oh, so sleek, so classy, so beautiful, so futuristic. So much to say about this system. Design, 10 out of 10. And here we have the Dreamcast stand. It's the PS2. This is not my PS2 Model 1. I'm borrowing this for educational purposes. Educational, I don't know. But yeah, the PS2 looks pretty nice, actually. I do like how this one looks. Very, you know, rectangly, very sharp edges. The PS2 logo, that is super clean, like that gradient look. Super awesome. You can have it on a table, just vertical, or you can have it horizontal, which, you know, is great for putting a Sega Dreamcast on it. I might even be able to demonstrate it here, actually. Yeah, great for that as well. But then Sony, I don't know when they redesigned the PS2. This is my actual PS2, the one that I own. This one isn't mine. This is the PS2 Slim, and what a great redesign. You know, this one was good, but Sony kind of realized that there's a lot of stuff going on with the original PS2. Like, you have this like hard drive bay in there. It's just a ton of like extra stuff. And then they realized like, yeah, I mean, all you really need is, I guess, like the motherboard, you know, a USB port there, which I've never used that. I mean, you still have room for Ethernet. Yeah, it wasn't that hard to redesign. But it's super, you know, portable. It is super tiny. It's so thin. It's a really good redesign. You know, I do like how both of these look. They're not my favorites, but they are really good. The 6th generation of consoles had great console designs, as you saw with the Dreamcast. And the PS2 is pretty good too. But another great 6th generation console design. Let's check it out. Here we have the Nintendo GameCube. I have the indigo version, or the purple one. Already, like, just to show how amazing a console design is, this thing has a handle on it. A handle. And I didn't even mention that this thing is in the shape of a cube. Like, oh my God, this is one of the best console designs. It's super compact, you know. Yeah, partially because the discs were so tiny. But just such a unique design. I mean, it is one of the best console designs ever. One of my favorites as well. I would say in the 6th generation of consoles, my favorite design was the Dreamcast, but this one is definitely a close second. I love how it looks, and it's just that handle. No one gives it credit for how just like ingenious that is. Like, it's super hard to hold unless you're using like 2 hands. But just, you know, doing the handle is just amazing. I love the little logo there. The buttons are great on this one. I don't know why I specifically said that, but just one of the most iconic console designs for a reason. 10 out of 10. And then here we have, oh, this is kind of hard to, wow, that is taking up like half the frame. But the original Xbox is probably my favorite Xbox design ever. It's kind of stupid looking. I will admit that big X. I mean, just like, what was going on here? But just, I love how this thing looks. It's so bold, and another kind of futuristic looking design, especially with that Xbox logo there. This is really hard to hold. Oh my God. I love how this thing looks. One thing I don't like though is the start button is smaller than the eject button. What? So that's stupid, but yeah, you know, Xbox, Microsoft, you did a good job with your first console design. But the Dreamcast and GameCube are better designs in my opinion, but this one is still really good. Yeah, it's a good console. And here we have the last console I will be showcasing in this video. This is the Nintendo Wii. The Wii, man, I mean, what can I really say about this thing? This thing is a beautiful, beautiful system. It's so simple, but it is so sleek. You can have it in a stand like this, or you can have it turned around like that. It's super, just amazing. Got the flaps here for GameCube games that just fell down. This is how I play my GameCube games. I mean, I know the GameCube looks cool and all, but I don't have the one that has 480p support. I can only do 480i on that. Even though I record all my gameplay footage, the RetroTink 2X, that only has 480i support, so I don't know. But when I'm not recording footage, I'm hooking this bad boy up with component, and I'm doing that 480p support, and my GameCube does not have this special port for that. So yeah, this is how I play my GameCube games, and it's such a beautiful console. This is great. So wow, we've already made it to the Wii. So let's see which console design was the best. We're gonna really determine here which one was the best. But I think we all know which ones are, but you'll have to see. I'm just rambling. Let's just get to the point. So we have 4 consoles here. We have the GameCube, we have the Sega Genesis, we have the Super Famicom, and the Sega Dreamcast. I have to say, these 4 are my favorite out of this bunch, but which of these individually out of the 4 are my favorite? So, what's the first one we can remove? Super Famicom, you are a beautiful system. You are one of the, why am I saying it like to you? Like, why am I like talking to it? What am I doing? But yeah, the Super Famicom is a great looking system, but out of this 4, it's probably my least favorite looking. So that's one we can just get it out of here. I don't know. So now we have left only one Nintendo system left. Now we have the Dreamcast and the Sega Genesis and the GameCube. This is tough. Okay. Well, I already said that the Dreamcast, I like how that looks more than the GameCube. So bye-bye GameCube. Don't worry, I didn't throw it. I didn't throw this beautiful thing. And as you can see, yes, I was saying I can't get 480p out of this thing. I don't know why I brought that up again, but I just did. Oh, now we have left, wow, 2 Sega consoles. The Sega Genesis Model 1 versus the Dreamcast. So man, I mean, both of these are very sleek, very beautiful systems. One is very futuristic, one is very 80s. You know, not many people associate the 80s and the Sega Genesis. You know, most people don't realize that. I mean, maybe people do, I don't know, but yeah, the Sega Genesis came out 1988. I gotta say, you know, very 80s looking, and I like that about it. I'm gonna have to hand it to the Sega Genesis Model 1. This right here is my favorite console design ever. It's so sleek, it is so cool. I mean, what other system has a volume slider? Come on, the Dreamcast, I mean, yeah, it has a modem in it. I don't know. Yo, shout out to the Sega Genesis. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video here. Just going through all these systems. You know, console design is such a, you know, I really like, you know, talking about it, because, you know, not a lot of people bring it up, but it's just like, it's just a fun little thing to look back on. What's your favorite console design? Comment down below, leave a like, please. Yeah. So yo, thanks for watching everybody. See you next time.